Hi folks, it's Dan with the Semper Paratus Outdoor Channel, and today I thought I'd review one of my favorite little pieces of backpacking kit, which is the Kovea canister butane stove. Kovea is not a real well-known brand here in the United States. It's a brand that comes out of Korea, South Korea that is. the one we're we're allied with, not the one that we're not allied with. So the stove comes in a little bag with a cord lock right here, and it comes folded up with the 3 legs, and it does come with a nice little piezoelectric starter in the package. I said Kovea is not a real well-known brand in the US, which is kind of a shame, but Kovea is known for doing OEM manufacturer for some other well-known outdoor brands. Now, to set the stove up here, just unpackage it, and we take the 3 legs and we rotate them out. And you'll notice that it has a stainless steel braided line for the fuel line right here. So we take the little adapter, we screw it onto our cartridge, and we are ready to go. If you notice right here, the fuel line runs to the underside of the stove, and the butane fuel goes up through a preheating tube that rests right in the flame, and it preheats the fuel and makes the stove more efficient. So we just give it a little bit of gas here. And I'm not sure if it's showing up on camera, but we have a really rip-roaring flame here that you can hear. Having 3 support legs, the stove is very stable despite having a pot of water on it. Like a miniature little blowtorch. So one of my friends asked me, why would you use a canister stove versus something smaller like the gold standard here? This is the MSR Pocket Rocket. It's a canister mounted stove, and it's kind of the gold standard in the backpacking community. This is kind of the classic one, so it's about a generation older, but it's been a great stove for me. I have 2 of these and I've used them quite extensively. So let's compare them side by side and see what we get. So let's do a weight comparison on the 2 stoves here. MSR Pocket Rocket, weighing it at 3.0 ounces. The Kovea Spider, 6.1 ounces, so about double the weight of the MSR Pocket Rocket. So you'd have to ask yourself, why would I want to carry a stove that runs off the same fuel but weighs literally twice as much as another stove? Well, one of the benefits of having a remote canister stove is performance, especially in cold weather. One of the things that really robs a stove of its performance is wind. If you're able to protect the burner from wind, you're able to get quite a bit more heat transfer to the item you're heating up, like a pot of water. So if we have a pot of water here, I can make a handy dandy high-speed aluminum foil screen and more of the heat will transfer to the pot of water that I'm heating up. If you're going to try this with a canister stove, this would be potentially, no, I'd have to say this would be very unsafe, as it would result in your canister heating up and causing it to overheat and other, how should we say, negative consequences. Oh crap, I forgot a couple of butane cartridges inside the freezer. Let's see what the temperature was in here. Oh man, they've been sitting at 20 degrees for about 2 hours. Let me get a glove on here. Well, at least my pizza stayed frozen. Let's see, ooh, this is a little bit of ice on the bottom here. Well, let's see what happens. Well, now that these two cartridges have been sitting at 20 degrees for the last couple hours in my freezer, let's see if there's any negative effects on these butane stoves here. First up, the gold standard, the pocket rocket. Boy, these are quite the bear to thread on now that they're frozen. Well, let's see how our good old pocket rocket does. The gold standard. Well, we did get ignition, but looks like we're not getting much in the way of flame. Yeah, I can barely feel any flame up here. Let's open her up a little bit. Well, you know, judging from how far my hand is above this flame on full blast, I'd have to say the cartridge is not doing too well right now. You're gonna have to make sure, if you're gonna run a pocket rocket, to keep these cartridges next to you and warm. Well, just to be fair, these are two identical cartridges, brand new. Spent the same amount of time in the freezer here. That way we don't give an unfair advantage to either stove. Okay, let's try the Kovea Spider and see if it does any better. Wow. Yep. Looks like this Kovea Spider's having issues too. Judging from the fact that my hand is just about 4 inches. But I think the Kovea Spider is going to do a little bit better because we do have a preheat tube which allow the fuel to get warmer as it goes by. And we have a special device, seeing as this is a remote canister stove and there's a preheat tube. Wow, it's starting to get really warm now. You can use this special device known as a used olive can to feed it in liquid feed mode. Whoa! Yeah, now that it's feeding gas, so gas is coming out of the canister in a direct liquid form and not a gas form, because when butane stoves are subjected to cold temperatures, the butane doesn't develop enough pressure to turn into a gas, and it remains in a liquid form. But seeing as I've turned this cartridge upside down and it's feeding into the tube as a liquid, then it's going to the preheat tube. The Kovea Spider actually has an advantage in cold weather in that, I'm starting to sweat standing here, in that it can burn in liquid feed mode. While liquid feed mode, your fuel efficiency is going to go down the crapper, but at least you'll be able to boil water. And it is very warm where I'm standing right now. One last thing I did want to show you guys that's available for the Kovea Spider is this little adapter right here. This one's branded Kovea, but you can get quite a bit of knockoffs. And what this adapter allows you to do is, instead of feeding from these rather expensive butane canisters that you see commercially available, you can actually feed off of these type of canisters that you see in a lot of the Asian markets. You know, they use a lot of tabletop butane stoves in Japan and Korea, so these cartridges are fairly inexpensive. I went to the local Asian mark, and for $5 I got 4 of these canisters. So with this canister right here, you can just pop that on and twist it on and hook up your canister like normal. And now you can run your Kovea Spider off of an inexpensive butane cartridge that's sold at a lot of the local Asian supermarkets. So that's kind of a nice little bonus, because hate to say it, these cartridges get expensive real fast. Well, I've had the Kovea Spider on about 4 or 5 really cold weather trips. You know, we're down, got temperatures down to the low 20s overnight. Yeah, you know, going backpacking in the middle of a snowstorm, not the brightest thing, you know, we've ever done as a as a group of guys, but you know, it's great bragging rights. I haven't had this out on many as trips as I have the Pocket Rocket, but for cold weather, this is kind of my new go-to stove. For a lot of years, I carried the MSR Whisper Light International, which is a liquid white gas powered blowtorch. That thing has been up to Rainier with me. You know, it's been in the low 20s and whatnot, and that thing's an absolute blowtorch. But the stove itself, with no fuel bottle, weighs in at 16 ounces. So in an effort to shave some weight, I've been trying out this Kovea Spider for the past winter season here. We're about the tail end of summer right now, but I thought I'd share this with you because I'm kind of surprised that more people don't know about the Kovea Spider. I think for $60 on an online retailer at Amazon and whatnot, it's been a great little stove. It's done everything I've asked of it, and like I said, in really bad weather or cold weather, having the ability to preheat your fuel with that little pre-burner tube that runs to the burner head is great. And in very bad situations where it's really cold, the ability to invert the cartridge into liquid feed mode is absolutely priceless. Well folks, hope you guys enjoyed this short little review here. If you did, please like, and if you enjoy videos like this, please subscribe. Thanks and take care.